Hello and welcome to Scots United, where I, Scott, and my team of Scots, who are also me, as well as my dog Margot, bring you the latest in movies, television, and popular culture. So let's jump right in and hear about a television offering that debuted recently and is worth your time.
We talked about faith last week with Fleabag, because that's part of it. The priest, and that Fleabag's trying to figure out, what she wants and what's meaningful to her. Well, another show that is in a similar theme, it's called Ramy, R-A-M-Y. It's on Hulu.
Oh yeah, that one that stars Ramy Youssef. He's a stand-up comedian.
Sort of like a depiction of a sort of mid to late 20s Muslim guy who's trying to figure out his place in the world and try to figure out how his faith sort of connects with that. He has other Muslim friends, and some of them observe this but don't observe that. And, he wants to meet a nice girl, but he also, it's also like the modern age, and there's a disparity between, girls, the idea of like the girl you marry and the girl you hook up with. He has a non-Muslim girlfriend at the beginning. So there's all these sort of tensions in the show, and it is really interesting. And I like the tone so far. I've watched a few episodes.
Cool.
I also think it's nice to see a complex, modern, layered, interesting depiction of Muslim Americans.
Especially in these end times we're in, where all of the racist and nationalist craziness seems to be just bubbling to the surface. And now, a transition.
Hey Scott, so I thought we really should jump back in time to just a couple of years, to a show that not enough people watched, and it's really a gem.
Okay.
Hannibal. Brian Fuller created it. It's based off, Hannibal Lecter and the characters from the Red Dragon books. Not from Silence of the Lambs because of rights with different producers, but essentially it takes Will Graham, the detective from Red Dragon, Hannibal Lecter, Dr. Chilton, other characters that you'd be familiar with if you've seen these movies, and kind of reconfigures things.
So why do we need more of this universe?
And I'm sure that I had thought the same thing. I mean, I am a huge fan of Silence of the Lambs, still, a huge film in film history, winner of multiple Academy Awards, including one of the very, very few to sweep Best Picture, Screenplay, Director, Actor, Actress, iconic roles from Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. I mean, the list goes on and on.
So who's in this version?
Mads Mikkelsen, which apparently is actually pronounced Mads Mikkelsen in Danish. Who knew? But he plays Hannibal, and he's more of a, fit, muscular Hannibal, which I think makes sense. If you were seeing Hannibal in his prime, he would need the physical capacity and ability to do some of the awful things that he has done and will do. And he just has this intensity and this. Mikkelsen was a professional dancer for years. He has the physicality, much like I would think how people thought Daniel Craig had the right physicality for James Bond when he first took over that role, right? It needs that physicality.
Yeah, Daniel Craig in Casino Royale was impressive.
Hugh Dancy, a British actor, he plays Will Graham, and it's to say that this show and these characters have rich and deep layers would not be giving it credit for the amount of complexity that the show has. And this is not done down for TV, nor is it less brutal, but it also is exquisitely brutal. The art direction in the show is insane. It is impeccably shot. The symbolism, the visual symbolism of the show is off the chain. It is unparalleled. I am still shocked watching it over again as I'm doing now that this aired on NBC on Friday nights at like 10 o'clock, which I watched religiously then. It was just that good. You can't take your eyes away. And I'm not into true crime. I don't like seeing, a lot of blood and gore. I'm not a big horror fan. But this show is just spectacular.
So it's familiar, but it's still different. Is that right?
That's also the beauty of the show. Why Brian Fuller is a goddamn genius. One, the writing is at a level that you just hardly ever see. So, if you feel like you know the plots, it doesn't matter, because he has rewoven it, reconstituted it. He mixes things up. If you think, oh, well, this person's clearly going to die now because that's when they die in the book, maybe they don't. Because he's reworked things. So there's elements, there's hints of the other books, other characters happening in different ways. He's done gender switches with certain characters to give them a different perspective. It's just different, but it's still honoring the source material, honoring the films, honoring some great previous lines. So even though there is no mention of like Clarice Starling, there are no rights to Silence of the Lambs, so you can't use her. There are still echoes. There are certainly still echoes, and it's fantastic. It is so fantastic.
Okay, you've convinced me.
It's just a show that did not get its due, did not get the viewership it deserved, and did not get the awards, everything. So if you like something psychological, something gorgeously directed, gorgeously written, gorgeously performed, just everything, you really need to check it out.
So that's it for us this week. One day late because of the holiday. I'm still in an allergy funk. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for summer, except then it'll be hot and gross. So, ready for fall? I don't know.